why don't you just start by telling us why J Street is at AIPAC?
Sure. Well, my colleague Hadar and I are here because I think there's a lot of room for cooperation and shared work to achieve, I think, the end goal that both AIPAC and J Street want, which is a safe, secure Jewish Israel. And so, needless to say, there's a lot of interesting policy going on here, a lot of interesting discussions. We saw Secretary Clinton this morning, Bibi tonight, Tony Blair tomorrow morning, and I think there's a lot of room to really talk about how we can work together and how the United States best plays the role to secure Israel's future.
It's great. I know there are a lot of students here. I think it's like 1,500 or something along those lines. Now, you guys have a college chapter as well, and I remember hearing criticisms of J Street for taking the words, sort of your slogan, pro-Israel, pro-peace, taking the words pro-Israel out of the campus chapter. Has that reverted back, or is it still just pro-peace?
That was actually never true.
Oh, really?
What happens is that the pro-Israel, pro-peace tagline itself, in the form of an actual slogan, was always just for J Street itself. That was the tagline that we used. J Street U never had that as their tagline, but obviously they are an explicitly pro-Israel organization. You read their principles, about us, anything along those lines. I think it's pretty clear that they exist primarily to ensure Israel's future, which can only be secured as well through a viable Palestinian state living next door. And that, I think, to me, that's as pro-Israel as you can get, just in a pragmatic, realistic way. And I think also what they do is really create space on campuses for students who support Israel, but question some of its policies, question some of the stuff, especially recently, that we see going on, and gives them a home that they can really engage in this issue and bring them into the tent and figure out what being pro-Israel and how it means to them, and how they can then translate that to tangible advocacy.
So we see here at this conference, Hillary Clinton's here, Barack Obama's been here in the past before he was a president, people, Democrats, Republicans, all over the spectrum. Why is J Street necessary if AIPAC has such a wide tent?
Sure. Well, I'm not going to speak for AIPAC, and I think like I said, there's a lot of stuff on which we agree: a strong U.S.-Israel relationship, robust foreign aid, military cooperation, and so on. And I think these are things on which we agree. But I think, you talk about the Jewish community: 2 Jews, 3 opinions. It's, and there are certain issues on which we do disagree, and I think that's healthy and necessary for our community, for the American political discussion, and frankly for Israel itself. If you look at the discussion happening over there, there's not one way to advocate for Israel's future there. There's a multiplicity of views, and the same thing goes for our own community. And what we do is we provide a political home, a political voice for American Jews and other friends of Israel who, like I said, love Israel, support Israel, want to see its future secure, Jewish, democratic, but may have some questions about the role the U.S. should play, and really think the U.S. needs to play a more active, engaged, assertive role to really secure Israel's future and really ensure that there is an Israel for our kids and our grandkids down the road. So,
what do you say to critics of the funding for J Street? From what I've heard, at least a lot of initial money, I don't know if that's still the case, was from Muslim and Arab donors.
That's just not true. Again, there's a lot of smears out there, and I'm happy to have these conversations to try to dispel them and give people the facts. We're primarily, and not exclusively, of course, no organization can say they're exclusively anything, but we're primarily, not exclusively, Jewish organization, and the same thing goes for the folks who support us financially. They're primarily, but not exclusively, Jewish Americans. There are some Arab and Muslims who know very well where J Street stands on the issues. They know we're an explicitly pro-Israel organization, that we support a 2-state solution, which is, like I said, I think, in our minds, the best way to be pro-Israel. And for us to be able to engage them in a way and have them contribute to something that's pro-Israel, I think is a good thing. It really builds support for Israel, for this idea of a 2-state solution, for a strong U.S. role in achieving it, and for us to be able to engage as many people as possible with these clear principles is, I think, a good thing. We're never shy as to where we stand on the issues, what we stand for, how we support Israel, and if folks choose to donate to us, I think they know that they're supporting those positions.
Now, are you here at this conference as a member of AIPAC? What is your status here?
I don't know. Honestly.
Do you have to be a member to go?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's a good question. I don't think I'm a member of AIPAC, honestly, but we extended them a comped invite for our conference this past October, and we'll of course do the same next year when we have our conference in February. And they extended the same courtesy. And like I said at the beginning, I think this is really important to have an open conversation about this, to engage and to work together where possible, because there are shared end games in mind, shared goals of really securing Israel's future. We might disagree on certain ways to get there, the role America should play, but the point is we're here, we're on the same side of this issue. We're here for Israel. We're here because we believe peace is in Israel's best interest. And I think, having myself and my colleague here from our perspective is an educational experience for us, and a good opportunity as well to really engage with people who care about this issue. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.